change as news of a new kid spreads throughout the land. In order to save the humans, the Grand Wizard must get to the new kid.
What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and we are finally doing another video about cards that oh, my phone went, damn it. But today we are doing another video about cards that should be in South Park Part 2. So, firstly, these are fan-made. Got to say this every video just because people think they're real. So, before I do these type of videos, I'll actually look at the leaked cards. So, these cards haven't been in the leaked pile yet, so like we saw before, Terrence Phillip are already a card, so they should be in the game, and they are going to be in the game, so that's why I'm not doing them here. So cards like for the examples I'm going to show later on have not been in the actual leaked data yet, so we don't know if they're going to be in the game, but hopefully they do come in the future. So throughout this video, see comments of people who actually commented saying like certain cards. So that's pretty much a good idea if you want me to make your own card. Just throw out an idea, what type, what theme. For people that are actually thrown out theme examples, I don't think I can do that, just because I kind of have to use images from the actual show. So someone made a comment before, sorry I don't remember your name, but it was like a survival theme, and it was really good ideas, but like there's no way, unless I actually draw it and like color it in and like paint it myself, there's no way for me to actually like do that card. So make sure it's actually from the series, and I'll try it next time I do part 3. Okay, so starting right off, we have a comment from Burn Adapt, who said, I wish you did the Woodland critters, so worry no more. A month late, but here's your card. So this could be a really interesting card, especially if they do it how I do it, how I'm saying it now. So pretty much like the Rat Swarm, where you summon it and it will spawn 12 critters, which is all of them from the actual series. And also I kind of like done a little individual card out of like how they would look. So if you're in game, you can press and hold the character and it'll show up the actual solo card. So for these, they will be all different, but the difference between these lot is that there's actually 2 flying units in it. So it's kind of hard to see how this would work, because it has to be a legendary, just because the scaling will be for a common, rare, or epic. You can kind of make these guys OP, but obviously they are critters. So how you kind of do it is you'll put them behind your new kid, and then half of them will go one way and half will go another way. But it's kind of hard to say because most people do use fireball or poison, so they just kind of get wrecked. Not really sure how they can do it. Another way they could do it is actually make them one solid unit. So rather than all 12 hitting one target, it's just one single target, meaning that like it's had a giant HP pool like how Man Bear Pig does, but they all do one hit together. That could be one way of doing it. And I don't see them also making them individual cards, just because there's 12 of them. They could, by all means, but with how many cards they can add and they're gonna add, I don't think adding these 12 cards will be like separately will be good. I kind of think they have to add them together, because they are the Woodland critters rather than being solo cards. And I think having one of them on your team would kind of take up a spot, so like it wouldn't make sense for them to be solo. So next we have a comment from Grandma's Carmen saying, what about crab people? Which I'm 100% surprised and forgot that I didn't do these. This should have been like in the first video, but here's the card. So I'm saying that these crab people are going to be cost 3, and they are pretty much going to be like kind of like the aliens, which would be pretty cool. So if they were to do that, they can make aliens for sci-fi and crab people for mystical, and make them rare. So you can only get them at certain events, just because, you know, crab people are kind of rare as well. So, you know, they could like work out so to have one for each theme, basically like a rare card. So if you see someone in game with it, you know they're really lucky. Never mind, at a card level. So why would you use these rather than the Underpants Gnomes, which are also spawn 3 units and cost 2? So I think because they're mystical and they're rare, I think that they should have more health. So when you scale them up, they would probably beat out Underpants Gnomes just because they have more health. So basically you're paying an extra cost for a stronger card, which could be cool. I definitely think these should definitely be in the game, just because like there's like one of the cards like you kind of know from South Park, so they should be in the game. So this next one is a comment from a bunch of people which said Mecha Streisand. So actually surprised at how many people wanted this card. So I've done 2 versions of this. So the first version I'm showing you now is my example of how the card would work. So 6 cost, 600 HP, 35 attack, but does an AoE with her saw like hand, so she swings across the field. since she's big, this is kind of what Mad Bear Pig should be, where, you know, he does like an AoE attack, but obviously she don't have much health, and obviously I'm not a game designer, but like with her knockback that she would have, and her air and ground coverage, so she can hit people in air and the ground. So I mean, she could be pretty useful, especially like a good defensive card. But so that's just my example. But the next one is Gaming Bros, who said, you said Robo T-Rex, but I'm pretty sure you meant Mecha Streisand. So this is just what I've done. 8 energy, Sci-Fi, and a tank, and his charged ability will eat a random enemy, giving you energy depending on what the level is. So not really sure how that will work. So I think maybe scale it so it's, if you eat a level 6 card, you should get 3 energy. So kind of like how, if normally you probably eat a level 5 card and it would give you 2.5 energy, which would make sense for the cost since she costs 8. But I did actually upgrade her health, just because if she does cost 8, she's kind of gonna have a lot more HP, and her attacks shouldn't do as much damage since, or if she was to do much damage, she won't have like an AoE how I said the other one would. But that's just kind of like a perfect example of how you should comment. These are definitely like, it's easier, and plus if you comment this and it's a good idea that I haven't done and that isn't in the game files, I would definitely do it. So next we have a neutral epic card, just because I think the scaling would work better, but it's Tauri, so 100% surprised he is in the game. One of my favorites from the actual series. It is, and obviously since he smokes, he's kind of slow, so it makes sense for his Warcry ability, similar to Mr. Hankey, will slow down enemies. So why would you use this guy rather than Stan? Poseidon Stan is because I think as an epic you can have more health and attack, plus it's a Warcry ability, meaning that you can actually upgrade it. So if you have a max level 4, it could last for like 10 to like 12 seconds, which could be crazy, and then win you the fight. And since it's a Warcry, it's pretty much can use as a spell. So we actually haven't got a spell that can slow people, only freeze. So you can definitely have some cool dynamics with any doggy or headhunters, or even assassins really. But I think the best thing is that his actual character will be pretty cool. Just he comes in, smokes a joint, and makes a smoke cloud around all the enemies to show that they've been slown. Similar how Cubic Cartman has cool dialogue, and like, his character in game is pretty cool. So that's another example of a card that needs to be in the game, 100%. So next we have a comment from Lewis South Park, and he said that we should add Stephen Scott, which is Bart's dad, and his theme will be neutral, rarity will be common, type will be a fighter, and cost will be 4. So his charge ability should be ground enemies, so obviously that kind of has to be his ability. However, I was thinking that it should be more or less you ground someone's ability, so rather than just grounding them and making them stay still, which wouldn't really work against ranged units since, you know, they'll probably still hit you. So I think this could be pretty balanced. So his charge ability will basically be power bind every unit that has a charge ability on the map, which can be worked around just because, 1, his charge ability will probably take quite a while. 2, you kind of want to use it against a Mecha Timmy, meaning that Mecha Timmy would be able to basically mind control him. And 1, yeah, you can mind control him normally with just the actual card. So, and I think compared to, we'll probably have the same like charge time as Stand Up Any Means. So you are able to work around it just by placing some fighters down or assassins which don't have any charge abilities. So realistically, it would work in the game, and I think it'll be pretty decent, and would be a great way to actually add into the game, since these actual adult characters from South Park, they kind of actually have a decent ability, like how Pizza Printer will push people away, and well, Randy has abilities, but the crap. So a charge ability that can power bind all units is pretty good, especially if you put it in behind his Zen Cartman or any other tank. So next we have another comment, which is from insert name here, and it says basically Cthulhu. So this is kind of going back onto the other theme that should be coming next, which is the superhero theme. So basically there's 2 ways they can do this. One is that I don't think Cthulhu will be an actual card, kind of like how the critters are, the woodland critters are in Mystical. It will be the actually one-hit kills, and with that actual animation. So if you actually watch the episode, the Coon, I'm not really sure which one it is, but the Coon and Friends episodes where he sends like all the Coon and Friends to the Abyss or some other world, but I think it's called Abyss. Could be wrong. You know, this could lead to a pretty cool animation where they get dragged down, like how Unholy Combustion just fully explodes them, like how the woodland critters would kill someone. There's 2 ways they can do this. Is 1, outright just kill the person, or one, make it a really small circle, meaning if 2 people are bunched up together, you can get 2 of them. So like cock magic, but just make the circle really small. So if he spawns 2 people in right next to each other, you're able just to get both of them, which, you know, it would work, and I think it would definitely encourage people to move over to that new theme. Okay, so the next card we have is from Patrick, which says Mr. Slave card ability with a war cry, which will allow him to run and jump on the closest enemy and go for them into his rectal cavity. So 100% agree, this is what his card should be. So since it is an insta-kill, I don't think it could cost anything less than 5, just because like most tanks and other things cost quite a bit. So I think this could be a really cool card. So I'm saying he's a rare from the neutral theme, and he's a tank. So you spawn him in, runs over to kill their tank, and all his fighters are locked onto Mr. Slave, who's a tank, which means he has quite a bit of health, especially if you level him up. Then you can send your fighters in to just clear out them. Cool concept. 100% agree. This should be in the game. Surprised he isn't. But if they do add him to the game, I think this should be his ability, which either way just pretty much insta-kill someone by sitting on them. Okay, so these next 2 cards are my original ones. So a lot of people commented saying, oh, you can't do Pip because he's dead. And that's not really an excuse, because Terrence Professor, one of the OP cards in the game, is actually dead in the series. So I think he's one of the 6 people that are actually fully dead in the series. And Pip is one of them. But I've gotten 2 characters who are also on that list, which is Besty Donovan, which is actually Craig's mom. And I think that the art and like style of this card will look super cool in game. So common, neutral fighter, 3 cost, decent health, decent attack for like a common. But I think what will be pretty cool about her, since she's a ghost, she won't be a flying unit, she'll be a normal ground fighter, but she becomes invincible for 1 hit, meaning if you spawn her in and then they fireball the crowd, at least the first hit she'll survive. Obviously, unless you she got zapped by the new kid or got hit by another target, she will no longer be invincible. So I think this this was done in Clash Royale with the Royal Ghost, I think the guy's called. Cool concept. I think it would work with. We should definitely have this for a ghost character. And I mean, look at the card. I think she will look super cool in game. I definitely think that it would be a great addition, allowing someone to go invincible for a couple of seconds. And since she is a ghost, it would work. On to the next one, which we are showing some sci-fi, some love, and it is another dead character, which is Leslie. Completely forgot about her. She is from season 2019, but if you don't remember, she was kind of the villain of the series, where she was basically an ad, but for 11 person, and was actually killed by Peter Principal. So we kind of see a cool dynamic between them in the game. So obviously you have it kind of works since you got Ice Up and Wendy in the sci-fi theme. So rather than mind controlling, which would kind of work, but obviously that's kind of for Kenny's thing. So whoever kills this target would be frozen, which makes sense since ads kind of slow down your computer. So in this case, it will slow down the enemy. And since she'll be a common fighter, you'll be able to scale up the freeze time, meaning that it could last as long as, maybe, say that max level 5, you kill her, it would last 7 to 5 seconds, maybe. Which, you know, pretty powerful if you think about it, because you can just send her in, she can kill one assassin, the other assassin can kill her, and that assassin who killed her will be frozen for like 10 seconds, and while your new kid just takes her out. Obviously this can be purified, and I think it will work really well with her kit. Coming near to the end, we're on the last 2 cards, and it is member berries. So definitely 100% member berries should be in the game no matter what. I just said it'll be mystical. Now, the reason why I'm saying it costs 4 is because you have the underpants gnomes who cost 2 but spawn 3, and the rats who cost 3 but spawn 4. So obviously it goes up to 4 cost but spawn 5. So 5 member berries, but they also have less health and attack than. So maybe level 5 rats might just beat them, but because they are also rare, they could scale up quite well. Maybe at max level 4 against max level 5 rats, you might have 1 member berry who just survives. I was also thinking about the idea of making them have mind control, since, you know, you eat them, they kind of get like mind control events against what you say. But for that to happen, they would have to be in the sci-fi theme, and I don't think having another unit that is able to mind control people, like especially with the purify enough, I don't think that would work. It'll be like sci-fi will be completely OP, especially if you if you level these guys up to a high level. Like firstly they'll wreck, and then also they'll mind control. So like that will not be balanced at all. So I don't think the mind control should work, but just they should 100% just be in the game no matter what. Like I would love them. They'll be one of the cards that I would just grind, and hopefully they are either neutral or mystical, just because I want to be able to use them. Okay, and now on to the last card, which is Cartman's. Pretty sure it's his stepbrother. So long story, it's just Scott Tenorman. So another common fighter, which we actually don't have a lot of them. I think the only common fighters are Pigeon Gang and Rats. So I added another common fighter for neutral theme will be pretty useful. And you know, it's just this card is kind of like an OG to the first couple of seasons. So having him in the game would be pretty cool, since you know he is Cartman's brother. And I'd kind of like to see more 6 Raiders, or like the teenagers of South Park, just because it'd be kind of cool. And obviously the attacks though are pretty sick. How similar to how Dog Puke gets a shit and just throws in his face. I think he can just pretty much get his pubes and rub it in his face. So not really sure what his ability is. I think he can just be a common fighter who has a lot of health and damage, and will pretty much kick ass in the game. And after 16 long minutes, we have finally come down to all the cards, and hope you guys enjoyed. So remember, make sure you comment any ideas that I actually haven't done yet. So hopefully you'll be able to be in the next episode. Obviously, I think still plenty more cards we can do. But that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and peace.